Newsflash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee.
Hi there, thanks a lot for staying with us here on Prime Morning. It's time for us to get into Newsflash. It's proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise, Still Phones, Papa Pathie. We're grateful to them this morning. You can go in there and get yourself your CCTV cameras, your telephones that you need to make life very easy for you. They've got mobile phones for you, and of course, Samsung, iPhone, and Nokia. You can get them. They're all available at Franco Trading Enterprise. If you want the television, you can get the biggest screens that you can ever have once you get there. And of course, those of us who want air conditions and refrigerators, your best bet is Franco Trading Enterprise. And if you need a microwave, just like myself, that I had to go in there this week to pick something for myself, you can also do so. Just come into any of our branches, and you're definitely going to be okay. Now, don't forget that we've got quality that we're selling to you at very affordable prices. All you need to do is to check us out. Our WhatsApp line and all the numbers you can call on your screens right now. You can just give us a call on those numbers you can see on your screens. Once again, please do not pick any number on social media to do business with us. Call the numbers that you can see on your screens, and you're good to go. Don't forget that you can also download the app. It's the Franco Trading app on Google Play Store, and you're good to go. Our website is www.francotrading.com, and you have got Franco Trading Enterprise in your hands, and that's what we're talking about. Franco Trading Enterprise says still phones Papa Pathie. This morning I want to believe you've been motivated well enough by Vusi Thambakwayo of all those words that he spoke to you. I'm sure you're ready to face the day regardless of whatever it is you're going through or how you slept last night. But of course, it begins right here on Newsflash here on Prime Morning, and I'm grateful that you're on the other side. You can send your messages to us this morning by going on our Facebook page. We're streaming live over there, and you can also do so on WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp is very active. You can join us and send your messages over there as well. The big thing we're talking about this morning is the MPP primaries. Now, they set for 31st of January 2026, and already there have been questions coming all the way from people who are showing concern about how they have decided to actually switch everything. Now, they say that is the bottom top approach. Some believe that you need a foundation before you can roof. Or why are you roofing before you make the foundation happen? And that's questions people are asking. Now, every of the individual that has been found over there is a very potential winner for that primaries in terms of who becomes the flag bearer of the new patriotic party. But conversations have started already. There have been places where some have said certain things that more or less is more of an insult to the other person, depending on how you say it. But are we going to see this happening throughout the period where this campaign is going to be going on? We've seen Kwasi Kwarteng, who's representing Kennedy Japan's camp, and also miracles on social media in a very serious banter as well. So there's a lot of things that are happening, in terms of this race. But we'll take a look at all of that. You can send your messages ahead of time. We'll read all of them here on the show, like I said. But we're going to go on the front page. Before we do so, though, I've got two of my guests seated this morning. Let me quickly just welcome them, and then I'll look at the front page of the newspapers. Then we'll get into our substantive issue this morning. And so let me say a very good morning to Kwame Nkrumah Putsio. He's here with us this morning. He's General Secretary for the Convention People's Party Independent Committee, and he's always looking, bright. That's the word I want to use.
Thank you.
I hope you're good.
Yes, I'm good, my brother.
You slept well?
I did sleep well.
Okay. Any court session this morning, or you?
Well, I do, but I think one of my colleagues will be covering for me.
Okay, all right. You have to be preparing, though. I'm looking for more cases for you. In fact, myself, so you have to start preparing for that.
No problem.
Great stuff. All right, I'm grateful for your time this morning. And also, I have here Honorable Timothy Atabwade, I want him. And I don't know why I'm deciding to give you another
Maybe
name.
you're excited.
I am, actually.
Yes.
I am.
Rightly so, because when you get up and you are healthy and God gives you life, these are the most important.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's really, really
That makes
expensive.
you excited, and if that is the case, I'm with you too.
Yes.
I'm also enjoying your excitement.
Please do. It's not easy. Somebody, they are trying to wake him up this morning. It's not happening.
So some people have even woken up and yet they cannot do anything. So when we are healthy and strong, we thank God for his mercies. It's not by our strength. It's not by your medical checkups.
At all.
It's not by what you do, but just by his mercy. We have to acknowledge that. My brother Bosu, you are looking great. Good morning. Nice meeting you once again. And good morning to our viewers out there and all our Texas. We enjoy
your people there.
Yeah, we enjoy their contributions a lot.
Great. The Honorable is a former MP for Busan North constituency, and he joined us this morning representing the NDC as well. And so you can also send your messages. And we're expecting to have in here Kwasi Kwarteng also join us from the NPP. We'll be looking at the spokespersons for the Brian Champon and also Kennedy Japan join us this morning as well. But let's look at the front page of the various newspapers very quickly, and then we'll move on. A Daily Graphic this morning says flag bearer primary, NPP MPs must remain neutral, and that's Alexander Atheny-Markin, the minority leader, and Chairman Sabonsu Arthur Kennedy also share views on that as well. You can grab a copy of Daily Graphic and get all the details. Gold PLC post 84.7 million Ghana cedis profit, page 39. Has got a story on that. Quash order to restore Ni Adama Lache II, Ni Taki Churu, just the Supreme Court, page 13. Has got a story on that. You know about the guardianship, situation in court. It's been back and forth a couple of weeks back, but let's see if we're able to get to a solution with regards to this issue. Now, Guarantee Trust Bank Ghana changes logo. That's also on the front page of Daily Graphic. GTEC scrutinizes honorary doctorate titles, and that has come into the public, conversation the last few weeks. And we're hoping that now when you say that you're a professor or a doctor or anything, the first thing anybody asks you is, have you heard about GTEC? Like they're coming after you. So yeah, some people are also removing the doctor from their names and all of that. So yeah, I think we need that in our system. Now the Ghanaian Times this morning says that 1 billion Ghana cedis to retool the security agencies. President Mahama announces, and government earmarks 40 million Ghana cedis seed funding for fledgling public universities. Haruna Idrisu has been captured over there, and task force cracks down on illegal miners in central eastern regions, confiscate 12 excavators, other machines as well, and 2.5 million girls to receive HPV vaccine beginning September from Ghana Health Service. And this is in regards to cervical cancer, which of course our female suffer. And so there's some vaccines that will be given them from the beginning of September. Away from that, the overseer is here, and it says ex-MMDC is endorsing Bawumia like political principle. Dr. Asante Ochre says so, and Mahama nominates Professor Ohine J as Ghana's ambassador to Germany. 14 others have been named, including our very own Kalsum Sinari, who is in charge of Spain. She's going to be from the creative side. And so we're very, very excited about it. Those of us in the creative sector as well, we're very, very excited about this. Now, the other stories over there says conflicted endorsements. Same MMDC is back, Brian, 237, Bawumia 220, Kennedy 190. So you don't know which is which, but that's also another conversation that has been going on. We'll look at that as well. Told to resume operations by October 2025, says Managing Director. NPA boss calls for stiffer penalties on unauthorized fuel stations. And GJA election petition filed over bloated register proxy vote scheme. You know about the Ghana Journalists Association elections that is coming up pretty soon. And it's been very heated. Yesterday or so, I think, the General Secretary debate happened yesterday, I think, on Joy News. And so there's a lot going on at DJ as well, but we're hoping that, we get another president. Some people are saying that Abed Kopna Jumfo did well and has been retained. I think so, too. I believe that he did really good when it comes to his communication and all of that. And, supporting press freedom, most importantly. He was almost against everything that political parties were doing to journalists. And so I think that I want to give him a second chance again. Now, the business analyst is here, and it says the NMC Executive Secretary rates GJA President over 90%, backs a second-term bid. Like I said, he's got some really, really good records when it comes to what he's been able to do in his office. GJA exceeded expectations, regained lost glory. Akobla Jumfo touts achievement, and Fitch Solutions warns of rapid erosion of Ghana's reserves if gold prices decline. And GJA membership ID card ready this week. African World Airlines to reduce airfares by end of June 2025. And this is a good news because it's too expensive. Just, you're going to Kumasi and you're paying plenty.
Over 1,000.
Charlie, it's just too
It's too
expensive.
much.
Yes.
Tamaleta 1.5.
You know,
It's too much.
it's too much. It's too much. We're
Yesterday
encouraging.
we were talking about it that we think that the airlines can take advantage of and reduce the fare so they can go severally. A number of times within the day. It can go like trotro.
And that's how you stay in business.
And that's how you stay. But if you want to use just one flight to cover for all what you should have done, it's so expensive. And I think that they should look at it. From here to Tamale, you have to pay 1,500 in and out over 3,000. It's not a joke. So I think that they should rather increase the flights a day. You can go and live, I think they can even fly at the night.
Yeah, now they get the aviation
When
is
you are
giving
going
that
frequently.
signal as well.
And when you want to use just one flight to make
It's not
so
cool.
much money, it makes it difficult, as if it's for a selected group of people.
Yeah.
And that if you are not within that brackets, you cannot. No,
enjoy that.
I think it's too much, and especially because of the way the Kumasi road is, people would have wished to use the flight instead. Because now you are using 6 hours. You see, but they are compelled to go with the same 6
When
hours.
you can do 45 minutes.
Yes, when you can do 45 minutes. But the cost will not allow them to.
At all. Recently, I was in Suyan and I had to pay over 3,000.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Anyway, Economy Times says BOG reaffirms macroeconomic improvement is driving city gains amid IMF concerns. Ghana makes fresh moves to expand its African export markets. And Ghana's agro-processing revolution stakeholders share concerns. And that's the last paper for me this morning here on Newsflash. Now we're going to get into the major issue, and we're looking at the NPP presidential primaries now. It's early primaries. Is this going to be a rush for the 2026 primary, or it's a calculated move or a cost in the step? That's what we're looking at right now. I'll start with you, Kwasi.
Yes.
Did you see the NPP making this announcement right from the onset, or you were hoping that the regular or the normal routine that this has happened before, but way years back, not like what we've known in the recent time? But did you see it in 2026? They making this, decision?
Honestly speaking, as far as I admire my own brother Justin Kodria and his hard work and his competence, both as a legal practitioner, as a general secretary, this came as a big shock. And the moment I heard it, what came to mind was what Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said, that the man or woman who is impatiently seeking quick results will be disappointed. We all know the disarray that the NPP is in. And I believe that they should have concentrated on their reorganization from the ground up. I'm hearing about the top-down approach. So it came as a huge surprise. However, I am yet to understand why they've taken such a decision. With time, we may get to know why. As for having early choice of flag bearer, there's nothing wrong with it, even if they want to choose it tomorrow. However, they shouldn't forget about their base, because with what they are doing, and apparently they not having fresh polling station elections and all that, apparently they're going to maintain the original 5 and add an extra 2. A strong internal democracy is the best for every political party. Every single voice has to be heard, especially those at the very, very bottom. And you always have to make sure that those who want to also serve are given the opportunity when it is time for them to serve. So I think that I did not see this coming. They have the right to do it, but they should have done their internal elections first. That is my opinion. I read somewhere that they'll be having their polling station elections in December. But I've also heard that polling station election is to only add 2 extra members to the original 5. You know, when you do that, you rob those who want to serve of the opportunity. Everyone in politics or in the NPP has a right to serve under the NPP constitution. However, I've also heard from other circles that apparently, if you go strictly according to their constitution, then they have wiggle room to do what they are doing. But you have to look at your internal party cohesion. As Osajifo said again, we unite or we perish, and that we either coexist peacefully or we co-destroy each other. So I've been following it closely. I've been almost round the clock because being an executive in a political party myself, you can always learn from others' successes and others' mistakes. And I think that they are rushing a bit. They should try and get their house in order, organize their polling station elections, and then take it from there. And a lot of things have arisen as a result of this. You have 60 or so MPs declaring for His Excellency Mahmoud Bawumia. You also have the MMDCs who apparently initially went to see Honorable Kennedy Japan, and then later on declared for His Excellency Dr. Bawumia. All these things, I don't think they augur well for party cohesion. It's early days yet. Allow the filing to be done. Let's see the list of candidates who go through. Because when you have such things happening, it has, the optics make it look as if the party itself is trying to choose one flag bearer or the other and shove it down the throat of the rank and file. And it should not be so. No matter the feeling of the executives as to which candidate is the best choice or not. You don't take that decision. You allow the whole party to take that decision. So I hope that these endorsements and other things die down. I hope everybody's voice is heard in the party. I mean, it is my hope that every MPP member was a CPP member, but it is not so. However, every MPP member, I think, has to have their rights respected. They should be allowed to have a say in all this. This top-down thing, you're just railroading things. And I have my own impression as to who the leadership probably wants to lead. And I'm glad my brother, the minority leader, has come out to say that it is not the best for MPs to be declaring for this candidate or the other. And with what is going on, you are making 2 people the front runners. That's Honorable Kennedy Japan and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. However, you should try and organize the election in such a way that every candidate has a chance to market themselves. As it stands now, it is not a level playing field. You can see that there are 2 front runners with one ahead of the other. And a few months or weeks ago, there was a statement from their executive that nobody should campaign until they open the way for campaigning to start. But what is happening now is campaigning. You understand me? There should be filing. They should go through the process. There should be the list of those who have qualified for the election before you open the way for campaign. But there seems to be some silence on the side of the leadership. And as I said before, Justin is a good guy. He should try and call his people to order. All these endorsements and other things, they should stop. Everybody should be given a chance.
All right. We're going to be looking at the individuals that are, in this race, maybe as we move on. But let me acknowledge that we've got on Zoom Dr. Dixon Adomako. I can see he is the spokesperson for Brian Champong's campaign. I'll be engaging him very soon. But let me get the thought of Honorable as well. Honorable, the whole decision and how it came, were you surprised?
I'm certainly surprised because we've known the MPP for quite some time now. They are formidable. They are a party that we reckon with their strengths and their weaknesses. But you see, no one can determine what they should do in their party. They are the best decision makers within their party. What we do is that we make a critique of what is happening, and if they are not obliged to carry it on, they can carry it on if they so wish. But then we wish them the best. You see, what they are doing is simply a disaster waiting to happen to them, from my perspective. He has enumerated a lot of the issues. Once you start from the top down, it means that there's a hidden agenda to make someone hook or crook lead the party. What has gone wrong? That the time-tested procedure you use to elect through your grassroots, you are now going from top down. And you see, it is an elitist type of thinking when we used to associate the MPP with elitism. So if you look at how elitist political parties organize, they normally organize from top down. But with the MPP, they've realized over time that it is not the best. They have to do away with the old method of always organizing from the top down. Unlike mass political parties that get their strength from the ground, when you look at the typical elitist parties like the MPP, what they do is that they organize from top down. But they've since abandoned that, because that will not help them. You see, the essence of mobilizing your grassroots is that you energize them, you ginger them, and it creates a fair ground for all potential flag bearers to have a chance of interacting with the grassroots. Because that process, if the two of us are interested, we'll also be interested in the grassroots election from the polling station up. So we'll be moving from place to place. And by that, we are gingering the party's base, we are energizing them, we are bringing enthusiasm. That has been lost as a result of the colossal electoral defeat they had, unprecedented. So if I were there, you'll be much more interested in the grassroots than the top up. Whatever that is within their sleeves and they are doing that, I think that there's something looming that we have to watch at it. But for me, I think that Afenyomakin's call that they should stay neutral is rather coming too late. Why? His own MPs that he's lording over, saying that 60 of them have endorsed Bawumia. Then where is he also coming with this post facto rationalization of they should stay neutral and so on? Why do we always do that to ourselves? We can't reason. You think that we are just caricatures around? The same thing happened when the whole bureaucracy threw their weight behind Bawumia. And the consequences of that, you saw it. Some of the flag bearers felt that the grounds were not fair. They had to break away literally. Some of them also felt that, once the bureaucracy want the flag bearer to go, they should go and let him win. They stayed away with their resources and with what they could do. So they should have taken into account all these things. We are yet to see more endorsement, because we are yet to see maybe an association of presidential staffers who over 1,000 coming to also endorse. We are yet to see CEOs who may also come to endorse. We are yet to see former ministers who also come to endorse. We are yet to see party elders. You name them. We are also coming to endorse, and what does that do to you? And I feel that when they start this way, it is not the best. For me, sitting where I am, I think that for every political party's strength is always in the grassroots, not the top. You understand? And we've heard several times the banter has started between Kwasi Kwarteng and the miracles and so on. That energy should be harnessed and used to mobilize the party from its rank and file. Look, as we sit today, I don't know what is gingering them to start early Congress. The early Congress itself has its own consequences and challenges. Because once the flag bearer is elected, every mad will come after him, who will throw mad against him and so on. And how is he going to carry along flag bearers that feel that the grounds have not been fair to them? They haven't learned from the 2024 endorsement and so on. So I think that the MPP leadership and the party should think, but if that is what it is best for them, then they will go ahead. Because I said earlier that no one can teach them as to what to do. They know best and they know what is good for their political party. If today, as we are talking this one, that is what they want to find. Look at the thank you tour. It didn't end well. That alone should tell you that there's something that you must arrest. it did not end well. A thank you that I was supposed to show gratitude to people who supported you and a grounds for reconciliation and so on did not end well. On the platform, they were even fighting. It means that there's some cancer that is eating them in terms of unity and so on, that they need to apply chemotherapy to uproot the cancerous cells. But it is their cup of tea. I know that very soon we will start from next year trying to mobilize our grassroots, trying to also do our congresses and so on, and be preparing for our flag bearer. But now what we are interested in is to concentrate on the mandate given to us to deliver the mandate of which we want to ensure that our 24-hour economy, which has concluded, will be launched by 1st July. We will all scrutinize the document across the length and breadth of this country. We'll carry along suggestions and so on. Our mandate to create jobs for the youth of this country. Our mandate to ensure a stable currency, a stable economy and so on, to provide food for the people of this country is what we are going to concentrate now, but not to bother so much about what is going to happen to the MPP, because they are the best judges. They know it best. They've gone through all this. And if at this time they feel that is what is good for them, who am I to talk? You people always say, do fearsome. Though we are doing our fearsome, we still need to look into
extend
and then do that. So for me now, this is what I can say. As issues come out, we'll talk about.
Right. We'll be looking at the some of the comments that have come up. I mean, the rich kid, the poor kid conversation has also come out. You know, we also heard. Yeah, this one says I'm a rich kid. This one says I'm a poor kid. So give the poor man the chance to also rule, because poor men can also rule. We'll look at those of the comments that have been coming up throughout this campaign. But let me go on Zoom. I have Dr. Adomako over there. He's the spokesperson for Brian the Champions Camp. Doc, good morning if you can hear me.
Good morning, KMG.
Great. I'm grateful for your time this morning, and I hope you're good.
I'm doing very well, and I appreciate this opportunity.
Great stuff.
Go ahead. You're going to say something.
Well, I was going to find out, how Brian is coping, with all that is going on right now.
Well, truth be told, I think that I need to maybe add some clarification to some of the key things. In relation to Adomako, I think when we were leaving the 8th Parliament, it became very obvious to us that the idea of publicly declaring for any candidate was not favorable for the party. And this has been very much so established by some of the fact findings after our loss. And I recall that the current leader, which is Adomako, was very clear in his mind and had spoken to some of us about the need to ensure that this time round the members of parliament remain neutral publicly and all in the interest of the party, so that if there are issues bordering on reconciliation, then they will be able to stand in to help mend any, as it is, injuries or issues that are coming up during the tussle. So in the interest of the party, I can literally say on air that open declaration by the members of parliament is unacceptable and is not in the interest of the wellness of the entire party. Now, as to the numbers, based on my observation, and this is, forgive me, like any person looking at the number of people in the room who supposedly or allegedly made the declaration, they were less than even 25, not counting the media people that were in the room taking pictures or video. And unbeknownst to the other people, a number of them later on then had dinner lunch or dinner, however you put it, with Dr. Bride Champon. So it begs the question, I mean, were they there to visit and then were declared as having declared? Or was it that they declared? And then we can fast track this to also even the happenings yesterday, where, interestingly, we are making a strong case that the Congress considers adding former MMDCs so that they can have a voting right in the next presidential election. And it begs the question that, is this declaration, though not an entire group, in the interest of MMDCs, who we are, as it is, making a case for them to be added to the register? So I think that it was ill planned, and the few MMDCs who I would call bad apples because they are bad actors or characters, especially when they as a body are trying to find their way into the album. And let me add that we are aware of the fact that some of them were former secretaries or chairpersons or delegates through other categories, being it either PC or council member of some sort. So some of them are already in the register, but a good number of them, and this was the time when I remember during the NEC meeting, Dr. Brady Champo made a case that they should be added. So if by virtue of the fact that we are, having to give them consideration to be added to the album, then they do this. I mean, what would the other people think about? Because if you're going to be added to the register and you're already making a declaration for one candidate or the other, then very clearly this arrangement of adding you to the album would fail, and that is why it would not be in the interest of very matured and well-meaning MMDCs to even consider, doing this is politically suicidal.
Is Dr. Bryan, is Dr. Bryan personally not amused about this?
Well, I mean, to say the least, yesterday others also made the counter, as it is, declaration that, listen, we've visited all these three candidates and we did not make a declaration, and that some of them, asked the question that where are the signatures appended to this supposed, declaration? And there's nothing of that sort. Only, as I said, a few bad apples decided to group themselves, less than 10, based on the video I saw, to make this supposed declaration. And is very indisciplined, very unacceptable, especially at the background where the general secretary of this party, has made another very key statement that he's disappointed in the fact that members of parliament have made open declaration. So from a political standpoint, if all chairmen declare for you as a candidate, then you should be wary, because it is just statistically improbable that everybody in one category would fall for you. It just doesn't happen. We had these declarations and we know what happened at the polls. It actually is counterproductive. The general population abhors it, and this is one of the key things that unfortunately led to the, as it is, disinterest, or as it is, apathy. And if we are minded and guided by the just immediate past, then these practices should be avoided and so unacceptable.
Okay.
So to say the least, I think that we need to be mindful, of making sure that the process is fair. Yesterday, some of my members of parliament were saying that, this unfairness and skewedness was one of the key reasons why Alan Chamantin left, unfortunately. Okay, and for that matter, if we're a serious party needing numbers and working hard to unify all of us, then we ought not, as it is, make it an unfair playing ground. We ought not, as it is, disregard our democratic process, which has been established through our constitution, and for very good reason. And as Awuntiri, posited that, if there's disaffection after the election because of unfairness, it will be very difficult for a good number of people to join and execute the general election. And we are not here working for a glorified or the glorification of a flag bearer. We are very intentional about the need to get a winning, a marketable candidate that will give us decisive victory, a one-touch victory in 2028.
And that candidate, I suppose, is Dr. Brian.
I would, and I will make my case that, Otumfuo was very clear to us that, listen, think not just about who may be acceptable within your party, but for the entire country. And that is very important. If the system is not fair and we choose a flag bearer through a process that is not fair, mark my words, you then now become a flag bearer of a smaller group within the party, and you would have a smaller chance of winning the general election.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that, people should be mindful of that key thing, that should we, choose this path, then we are setting ourselves for a serious reduction in our electoral fortunes by virtue of just this decision. Because whoever becomes a flag bearer becomes a winner takes all.
Wrap up for me,
and will dictate. Yeah.
Okay, I'll come back.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll come back to you again. Let me go on the other side. I understand that I have over there Kwasi Kwarteng, who also speaks for Dr. Kennedy, Honorable Kennedy Japon's camp. Let me engage him a bit. Kwasi, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Pajan. How are you too? I'm
fine. Thanks for asking. I'm grateful that you're able to join us this morning here on the show. A lot has been going on the past few days, weeks, if you like. What's Honorable Kennedy's stance when it comes to the entire process that has been more or less, revisited, that we're seeing from the top, the bottom top approach right now?
Well, good morning, Westin, and good morning to my team online, and of course, our person. I think that we have taken that party to be rebuilt. We come up with the current state of the party and the fact that in terms of growth and development, we need restructure the group to be able to make our attractive again.
Kwasi, we're having a bit of issue with your line. You're a bit inaudible. So let's try and give you a call back again and
Can you hear me now?
Again. Yeah, go ahead.
Is it better?
Yeah, it's better now.
Yes. So the point that I'm making is that as of now, it is not in dispute that our party is going through a very difficult phase, where the party currently, if we are all being very honest to ourselves, has become quite unattractive at all levels. Even if you look at the extent of loss and the rejection that we had from the good people of Ghana, that itself confirms confirms the point that I'm making. And so as a party, we acknowledge that, we are mindful of that, and that with that hindsight, we acknowledge that we need to rebuild, regroup, re-strategize, and once again cleanse ourselves so that our party, which used to be formidable and attractive, once again regain its past glory. Ordinarily, and I mean, this is just based on a very common sense approach, that when you are rebuilding and restructuring, the most effective way of doing that is to start from your own base. And so we would have expected that the most effective way of doing this rebuilding and reorganization and restructuring exercise would have been to start from the polling station level, which has in any way been our tradition. I'm not very old, but this is the first time probably in the history of any political party where I've heard that they are starting a reorganization from the top. And of course, you are also aware that this marks a lot of suspicion, which can breed disaffection, a lot of speculations on the fact that it is just designed to skew and give an advantage to one candidate, one person. I don't think this is all needful. If you look at the kind of defeat that we suffered with over 1.7 million votes difference and over 2.1 million of party people refusing to come and vote, first time in the history of our party, and recording the worst defeat in the history of the Fourth Republic, I thought our party and other people would have taken very good reference to it. So our point is that in terms of effective mobilization and restructuring, we expected that would have started from the base. But it appears a few people, or let me put it in a better way, those in our affairs are of a different opinion. We just hope that is in the right direction. But of course, if you look at how the reception that people have given to this decision that came up across all contexts, you realize that clearly is an unpopular decision. It appears every good-willing person and every person having right intention for the party is questioning him. But I mean, there are rules. They derive their powers from the constitution of the party. There is little that we can do to prevent or stop that decision, of course, unless using the same constitutional procedures. So our position is clear, like I said. Okay. That we will respect the decision, but I mean, bottom line, there is an unpopular one. Is a decision that is a basis or grounds for breeding chaos. For that matter, we are of the view that has to be looked at. But I mean, politically, even if they don't change it, we are of the view that the peace, sovereignty resides in them than those of us who feel that we are at the top. And I'm sure they are so keen in making a change. They are so keen in producing a candidate that is winnable, that is marketable. And whichever way, I am very confident that even if you have to have the election today, despite the decision of the National Council, at least the good people of the party are going to make a decision by electing somebody that can win us 2020.
All right. Speaking of that, marketability, we've had the former vice president saying that if you want someone to win an election for you, as the records indicate, you need somebody who has been there, who has contended with other people and has been able to make some progress. He believes that is the right candidate if you're looking at that, because he believes that all those who have been able to win presidency would have to actually contest with somebody several times before eventually they're getting that opportunity. And he is the best candidate. In your opinion, you think that Honorable Kennedy Japan does not come close to that? Or you think that as much as he believes that he's been there, he's seen it all, Kennedy is still the man that the people want?
Well, I think he's a data man. And I'm sure when you are addressing issues that has been, or concern that has been raised by a data man, certainly you also have used the same standard that he's using. I don't think data supports that section that has been from him or by them. In the history of the Fourth Republic, the data once again shows that this is the worst performance by any candidate ever. It is interesting to note that out of 276 constituencies, 199 of them voted against him. in terms of percentage figures, you'll be looking at about 72.2% rejection rate. Out of 16 regions, you had about at least 15 of them, the party declining in votes. You had the party for the first time losing virtually in all Zongo polling stations across the country. And certainly, such a data does not support the claim that he is making. And so, in terms of marketability and winnability, I mean, the point must be made clear that he's not marketable, he's not winnable. And the context is also very important. Our vice president, or our former vice president, is not a novice in this game. He's not new. He has had the opportunity to market himself for the past 16 years. So the natural expectation was that he's somebody that Ghanaians know, and you would have expected that they would have given him, some kind of recognition and acceptance, but that does not happen. It is the more reason why I'm sure even people who believe in his bid today are all contesting. Of course, I want to be measured by not making specific references. But I think the stage that we are and the point that we are is not really about taking lessons from a context or a place where clearly the data he's making does not support the reality. We are on the view that at the end of the day, let the party people decide. Let over 200,000 polling station people decide. Of course, I know that he's made references to the fact that President Kufuor has gone twice, President Obado has gone twice. But it's also important to remind ourselves that the party people gave those former presidents the opportunity to go on the second time based on also their performance. President Kufuor literally had 4 months or less to campaign. Yes, so did significantly well in terms of the nominal figures. If you look at Adomako, his first time, he was not a former vice president. He had not been a former vice presidential candidate. He was the highest office apparently that he's occupied was just a minister of state. Yes, so his popularity, even in the first round of the elections, he won to the extent that he took the party to a runoff and lost with about 23,000. Things cannot be compared to our former vice president who had the very good opportunity of marketing himself, of implementing his policies and decisions as the former vice president. Yes, so going into an election and losing with about 1.7 million votes. So the context has to be set properly. The premise we always should be reminded about the premise that you are only rewarded to continue when you demonstrate some kind of strength and you demonstrate that you really performed well. Other than that, I am not sure he will have the chance again.
Very well. Hold on for me. I'll come back to you in a bit. Let me see if I can have Adomako Kisi on the other side. I want to finish with that aspect in our coming studio for us to continue with the conversation. But Doc, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Great. Moving forward, now we are aware where we're heading in terms of the elections and all of that, when we're going to have it and all that. What strategies are we putting in place to ensure that Dr. Brian becomes the choice of the people? Now, there have been conversations about rich kid and poor kid and who deserves to even be of service to the nation. Where does Brian stand when it comes to these conversations going on?
Well, I'm not...
Hello, Doc. We've lost you a bit in terms of connection.
Maybe sure who's been referred to. Yeah, sorry. What I was saying is that I'm not really...
Okay, so we're having some challenge with Doc Sam. Hello, Doc. Can you reposition yourself again and let's see if we can connect with you better?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Please go ahead.
What I'm saying is that I'm not really familiar with who's rich and who's poor. It's quite interesting for me. But at any rate,
well, Dr. Bawumia says that Dr. Bawumia says that he's not a rich kid because some people believe that they're rich kids and they have what it takes to be the president of the nation, but he's not a rich kid. So that conversation has been going on as well.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, that is quite strange, because in the last presidential primaries, I mean, I must admit, I think he was the highest bidder. So, I mean, we won't go into that really, because nobody, none of the other candidates, I think everybody is self-made, really. You know, so is not, you know, and if you count particularly my candidate, I mean, he's self-made. So humble beginnings, mother was a teacher. So I won't go into that. If it were to talk about a rich kid, then in fact, out of the three leading, I would say that he was bequeathed something from his old man, you know, during the era of the, you know, Kwame Nkrumah's, you know, regime. So we won't go into that. I don't want to go into that. But the key thing here is that Brian Sands, I think, more of you know, the temperament of Honorable Brian Echam is one key thing that I'm very particular about. His composure is very, you know, cool for the youth of this country, and he has the experience in creating jobs, and the records are there. I mean, you might be drawn to the attention that his PhD is in information systems, and he's created huge companies with that, and has made people great jobs in this country with that. And that is his field. His strength is in information systems, and you know, he's done other things which he's known for, and one of them is Rock City, which a lot of people even rather think that is his biggest thing. But let me be very clear that that is one of his things. The real bane is his, you know, information systems program. Now, we are certainly at the crossroads, and we need a figure that has the experience in terms of parties, operations, and history, and to be the chief of staff of Jake Obichebi-Lamte is not an easy thing, and the experience, and you know, he feels that he can help us revisit our past glory, the principles and things that make us MPP. And I think that I can trust him with that, in terms of somebody who has understudied, you know, the likes of Jacob Obichebi-Lamte, and may I add the Kufuors, you know, and this is very key for some of us. And you know, he's younger. I mean, and you know, the Macrons, the Obamas, all were young when they started out, and I think, you know, this makes a huge, you know, appeal for the youth, and I think that where we are as a party and the need to become more attractive, and you know, we've had this stigma of MPP being, you know, very old school and old, and I think that this will be a breakaway from that, and will make us more acceptable to the general, you know, youth in this country. And I think that will be one of our strengths, you know, and in doing that, and strategically, he'll be the best candidate to help us draw, you know, more votes and help us win one touch. And I think all of us should be minded and particularly interested in somebody who can bring the groupings that usually make MPP win. In the last election, we fell out with some of the groupings. You know, if you look at the data, we lost CSOs, we lost, you know, people in the intellectual, you know, arena, we lost middle class, we lost people on the religious, you know, bit, we lost people even in some tribal conflicts. So we need a figure that can bring up all these groupings that we need to, as it is, succeed in a one touch. And that is why I think that even looking at the various regions, one of the best performing regions, even in our loss, was the Eastern region, where he played a very pivotal role. And if we should just mirror what he did in his region to the various regions, that will do the magic. You know, that proven record of going to battle with 25 seats and then coming with 24, a net loss of 1. If we just mirror that in Ashanti region, we mirror that in Central region, we mirror that in all the 16 regions, I think that track record will give us the seat, take us back to the executive, and make us more ready to work for Ghanaian, families and make sure that things are affordable and life is much better. Okay. And I think that, that these are my take on this issue.
All right, very well, thank you. Let me do a last one with Kwasi as well, and then maybe I'll come back to the studio. I'll read a few of your messages that have come through also. Kwasi, if you can hear me, a lot of people believe that Honorable Kennedy is doing more of, I have this, I have been able to achieve this, I've got this. And it makes the former vice president feels that the campaign is tilting towards a rich kid and a poor kid. What do you make of that?
Why Dr. Bawumia is saying he's a poor kid?
Well, he says that poor people's sons can also be president of the nation if we're looking at it from that angle.
Well, I am of the belief that we should raise the discourse beyond some of these commentaries, where we reduce it to personalities. I think we are coming to run a nation. Mm-hmm. We have a country to run. We have a party to build. And somebody whose father in 1992 was a Council of State member is saying he's a poor kid. Well, I don't think I have much to say there, but our position is that running a country goes beyond a rich kid and a poor kid. It has more to do with who have the leadership traits, who have the character. You see, if you are a political party, your number one and supreme interest is to win power. Because no matter how novel, no matter the initiative that you have, no matter how splendid your vision is, if you do not win power, you certainly cannot implement all those initiatives and systems. So for me, the focus and the conversation should be more about amongst all the candidates who want to contest, who resonates more with the pace. Yesterday, I heard that a research came out. Of course, even though we are all aware that during moments like this, who may spring up and come out with all manner of research. It stated that even the NDC tells stories, or a lot of NDC supporters for clearing it up. And I didn't have any problems with that. My view and my position was that it presupposes that even if today the Honorable Kennedy Japan is elected as the flag bearer, he's able to draw from all sides, being both MPP and NDC, to be able to win us power. So for me, if you ask me, the conversation should be more on the winnability of the candidate, which I am of the view that in terms of winnability of the flag bearer or the candidate that will present for the general elections, Kennedy Japan stands tall amongst all the names that has come up. Kennedy Japan resonates strongly with the people, with the base. Kennedy Japan strongly resonates with the youth in terms of youth advocacy, improving the lives of the youth. Kennedy Japan has been making significant inroads there from time immemorial. And so I am of the view that more especially if you look at the trust and the confidence that a lot of Ghanaians places in Kennedy Japan in terms of his boldness, his courage, his assertiveness. He's somebody that we are of the view that if party people gives us that honor, which we'll be grateful always and forever, be able to win power for the party so that we'll be able to implement the good policies and decisions and initiatives and vision of the party. At least there is one thing that I know for sure. Yeah. That in terms of Kennedy Japan and Dr. Bawumia, beyond the conversation of who is rich and who is not rich, which I believe is very trivial. I am of the view, and I know, like many other Ghanaians, that today when Kennedy Japan and Dr. Bawumia is placed on the table and being sold out there, Kennedy Japan is more marketable and more appealing to Ghanaians than Dr. Bawumia. For me, that is why I believe the conversation should tilt us.
All right, very well. Before you go, maybe this is very a bit unconventional, but I want to find out from you, beyond ideas, beyond marketability, who the people resonate very well with and all of that, there's also the spiritual aspect of this entire process. Of course, Prophet El Bernard has actually indicated that he's seen Honorable Kennedy Japan becoming a winner in this process. Have we spoken to him? Have we accepted what he has put in the public domain? Are we even aware of the fact that he's seen something like that he's spoken about for the benefit of Kennedy, Honorable Kennedy Japan?
Yeah, interestingly, Kennedy Japan is more spiritual than a lot of people think. I think people always misconstrue his advocacy for cleansing the church, which was first created by Ike when the people had determined to convert the churches to a market. He was taking an example himself, believe that he does not have right interest with the church. He is a church that he believes matters spirituality. He believes that the balance in fact to have that is a case who they to hide and develop for it. So yes, we've established many contacts with the Prophet Bernard Nation at all levels. And I mean, the good thing is that a lot of us even following the Honorable Kennedy Japan. Yes, we already have a good relationship with him. We've met him on many occasions. And let me even put this on record. I recall during his birthday, even Ken himself called to wish him his happy birthday. So yes, we've engaged him on many occasions. Not only, but I mean, other men of God who have seen, because I mean, certain life calls that for some of us who matters, but after we've engaged all of them to respect their anointing. For us, we've experienced that the Bible has made it clear that we believe in my profession, believe in my words. So in as much as we believe, certainly we have to take a step and connect here. So we've connected. We are trusting God to show us that His will will manifest. At the same time, we are also working so hard, engaging the party people, because ultimately, the heart of the king is the hands of the men. The heart of the king is the house of God. And like the river that runs wherever he likes, where he benefits. So definitely also continue to engage at the same time. We are supporting prayers and trusting manifestation of it.
Very well. I'm grateful for your time this morning here on the show, and we wish you the very best on this journey. And also to Dr. Adomako Kisi, thank you so much for the time this morning. I'm wishing you and Dr. Brian the very best in this race as well. And that's Kwasi Kwarteng you heard over there. He speaks for Honorable Kennedy Japan, and Dr. Adomako Kisi, who also speaks for Dr. Brian Champon, joining us this morning here on the show. Let me come to you in studio and find out. Kwasi, Kwame Nkrumah.
Yes.
That's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unpack. But there was a part I overlooked, and I'm glad you brought it up about the prophecy by
Prophet El Bernard.
Prophet El Bernard. And I'm glad you brought in the spiritual aspect. It's something that we tend to overlook in politics. Yeah. And I know people say Ghana is a Christian country, especially because our constitution says that in the name of God and all that. But, you know, in our previous constitutions, in some of our previous constitutions, we did not have that in the name of God there. So that means that gradually as time goes on, we are acknowledging our supreme maker more and more. And thinking about it, you know, thinking aloud, I don't have any proof of that, but it's possible that that may be one of the things that may have influenced NPP to be taking the step they are taking. Because, but I wouldn't fault them for that, because, I mean, Osajifo himself stated famously that nothing can be done unless it has the purport and support of God. The founder of this country was himself a theologian. And he also said, let us now ask for God's blessing. And freedom is a gift from God, not a grant from the state. So the founder of this country himself used to speak a lot about God. That is not to say that the citizens who are atheists or do not believe in God are not part of the country. They also have their right to be heard. But I think it's interesting days ahead. What is happening may be maybe those who may not want Kennedy Japan. This may be a way to probably scuttle the prophecy. At the same time, we could say that maybe the leadership is fully convinced that he may win, and maybe
because he was very emphatic on all the pronouncement he made with regards to this prophecy.
Yes, and I'm somebody who believes in prophecy. Of course, the Bible says that you shouldn't despise prophecy, but you should test the spirits. There are times when it has come true, and times when it hasn't. And belonging to a party where our founder is a theologian, we don't dispel those things, even though we respect people of all faiths, and even those who don't have any religious affiliation. However, it looks as if with all that we've heard from Honorable Dr. Dixon Adomako and Mr. Kwasi Kwarteng, it seems that they are all not entirely happy about the process. They feel it is an attempt to impose one candidate on them. However, it seems there's a bit more optimism in the camp of Honorable Kennedy Japan, maybe stemming from the fact that he came second in the last primaries. However, we shouldn't forget that in the last primaries, he won only Central Region. All the other regions were won by Dr. Bawumia, if my memory serves me right. And some of them, the gaps were very large. I think, and even some of the regions, the gap was as wide as, I think if you have a place like Northeast, where Dr. Bawumia had 90% and Honorable Kennedy Japan had 9%. I mean, that's a gap of about 81%. That is huge. That is huge. And it will be very, I don't know, but everything, even without the declaration of the MMDCs and the honorable members of parliament, it looks as if Kennedy Japan and the other candidates have a lot of work to do. They have a lot of work to do. And as I always say, politics is an avenue for you to serve your country. So every political party or every independent candidate is a likely leader of the country. I don't think we should rubbish anybody or think anybody is not capable, because in politics, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like a day. Anything can happen at any time. And I would also hammer on Dr. Dixon agreeing with Honorable that you tend to create disaffection and disunity if you go about things the way they are doing now. You have to really, really think about the rank and file. Even regarding those who favor one candidate or the other. And Mr. Kwasi Kwarteng made an interesting point that even the NDC members support Honorable Kennedy Japan. As in, if they had a choice, they'll choose Honorable Kennedy Japan. But come 2028, if it is faced on the ballot box and there's an NDC candidate there, even those who favor him, they're not going to vote for him. They're going to vote for their party's candidate. So they all have to look at these things. Honorable Kennedy Japan's camp should also consider these things. They shouldn't be swayed by the fact that some NDC supporters support Honorable Kennedy Japan. They should concentrate, they should fight for fixing the base. It may seem a bit too late now. The declaration has been made to go for the election. But however they are going to do it, they say they're going to add 2 more polling station executives come December. Now that we have 40,976 or thereabouts polling stations, it's not easy. You need at least 5 people per polling station, as per most of the party constitutions. That makes at least 200,000 people. It's not an easy task. But I think the NPP has the capacity and the finances to organize that. I think even if they are going to go ahead with January, they should start even now to start reorganizing their polling station exec. They should have those re-elections. They should go beyond the 2. They should elect the full complement and allow all those who want to stand, because NPP members are also Ghanaians. They may not be members of my party, but their rights have to be respected. Their zeal to serve their country has to be respected. Same goes for NDC and all other political parties. And the CPP being the political party that birthed this country, we are always passionate about making sure that the internal democracies of other parties work, just as we are also trying to make ours work. So I would say that it is not too late. They should try and organize even now. They have the men, they have the money. We saw all kinds of donations, 3 million here, 2 million here, 1 million here. It may not be enough to organize 200,000 people, but start from somewhere and start now, so that in January, whoever is elected will be somebody that would have been fairly elected and not imposed on the party. Okay. It would have been somebody that Ghanaians and the NPP delegates would have had a chance to listen to their vision for the country and not just the party. We shouldn't lose sight of the fact that political parties come into power to serve the country. So I would say that they should reconsider. They should give a fair playing field. For all you know, even the front runners that we are seeing here, as much as I believe they are all competent, for all you know, the best person amongst them has probably not even come forward. We tend to be swayed by who has money and who is more popular. It shouldn't be so. As was said, governance is not about who is a rich kid or who is a poor kid. Osajifo himself left the shores of this country as a stowaway on a ship. And he was somebody who came from very humble backgrounds. But look at the astronomical things that he did, not only for Ghana, but for the whole continent. You have other people too who are born into affluence and still manage to do a lot for the country. You have people born into poverty who don't do anything for themselves or for the country. So it's not about the person's background per se. It's about the person's vision, focus, and discipline, and his love and care for his fellow man. So NPP should try and put a brake on things and allow all those who want to contest fairly for the betterment of their party and the country. Okay,
very well. Thank you very much, Kwame Nkrumah. Honorable, would you like me to do some messages and come to you? We've got enough time to actually have our conversation today. That's the only conversation we're having, so we have enough time to be able to do that. So let me just engage our viewers a bit. This one, Kwasi Kwarteng says that I think the NPP party is doing the right thing and ready to recapture power in 2028 by starting with the flag bearership contest first before other leadership contests within the party. Among all the leaders in Ghana, they should mention one leader who became the president in Ghana and has never received an open endorsement from his party members. Our open dishonesty in Ghana is our biggest problem, but the truth shall make Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia the next president of Ghana. Musa Abato in Asawase is here again. This morning it says the NPP's internal conflict is unlikely to end soon due to self-centered actions by key figures. Tribal, ethnic, and religious sentiments from Bawumia and Kennedy in Japan's camps are fueling division, posing a threat not to just the party, but to Ghana's unity. For me, Honorable Patrick Bawumia is an only credible candidate among all. The NPP deserves a new face to restore its credibility, which has been damaged under the leadership of Akufo-Addo and Bawumia. Let me go to this one over here. It says, good morning. When the elephants are fighting, it's the grasses that suffers. They should be careful for this approach to electing their leaders. The grassroots will suffer because some of them will not get equal treatment. Bawumia will suffer a huge defeat 2028 election if they bring him again. He's not truthful and also joker, only throwing jabs to his colleagues. We shall see how it goes for them. I can't see. Okay, let me go to this one over here. It says that, good morning, please inform Foreign Affairs Minister that passport office in Ho is not giving us the results because I did express passport in 25th of April 2025 and is ready and kept in Accra, Ghana Post Office. The Toscate company contracted to do delivery is not in Ho, they are in only Accra. How can they deliver my passport to me at Adaklu? My express passport is about 57 days now, and I'm still waiting for it. It's not fair. Please inform Foreign Affairs Minister that passport office in Ho has problem in delivery services to cost honest Donko from Ho sent in that. I think this is the second time you're sending this message. I'm going to follow it. I'm going to try and follow it today and see what feedback I can get for you. Good morning, the Royal Host KMJ. The NPP is not learning from their mistakes. The current leadership have just lost it. We wish them well. No matter who they elect, the good governance of the NDC will communicate itself. Ghanaians are wise. Greetings to my senior Honorable Timothy, selfless and dedicated to Ghana and the NDC. Greetings to Council and Kroma. Meto Nuno sent in that one. Meto, how are you doing, my brother? It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yes.
I'm saying hello to him.
It's been MIA for a while now. He has the post already, and that's why he's not showing up.
I'm not.
Anyway,
but he deserves it if he does get. Or he's one young man who has equally worked so hard, and everybody that worked and put effort in this election deserves to be where he wants to be.
I agree.
I greet him this morning, and I think that God will speak at the right time.
Okay. We're getting spiritual this morning, though. It's good.
Very competent young man.
Yeah. Good morning, Kevin and team. My simple question is: what is that JMNDC government not doing right that the NPP is rushing to come and do differently? Or they have soon forgotten that the unpardonable messy state Bawumia-led EMT left Ghana in. Bawumia has had all the time and opportunities in the world to do what he wants to do now. But what did we witness? Bawumia should know that it's about good results, performance, and not just having rich ideas. Yunas and Ascent South sent in that one. This one over here says that Ken Japan must be careful who he allows to speak on his campaign platform. If an MP plays this dirty religious politics, then how can Ken Japan campaign in Muslim communities? This MP wants to destroy Ken's campaign. And that's Patrick in Accra who sent in that. Let me go to Alassane. Alassane says that good morning to everyone. In fact, every routing fish start routing from the head, and the rotten evening from the head, and the NPP party is more than a rotten party, and a party is ready to actually rot, and the center cannot hold it. That is why they have started from the top to the bottom down approach to organize their confused party. They should continue, and we wish them well. You can only wish them well, I'm sure. Good morning, KMJ. Let me help both Kennedy and Brian. If they really mean business, then the best for them is to pair Kennedy as the main man and Brian the running mate. This is the best way to get rid of Bawumia, and also the best choice for NPP if they want to have a say in 2028 election. Failure to do so, to go this way, is doomed to both of them and the party as a whole. Stephen Opoku and Saki Michelle comes in. Is this by prophecy, or is just you saying what you want to say? Anyway, Mesha Kasante in Amasaman says, whether Kennedy Japan or Dr. Bawumia or whoever elected as MPP flag bearer, this will still lose miserably come 2028, which they will never forget in their entire lives. But honestly and sincerely speaking, I prefer Dr. Bawumia to be elected as NPP flag bearer so that it will make the 2028 election so simple for NDC. I throw this challenge to any member of NPP to just mention only one economic indicators which was better and improved under NPP than what we are witnessing currently under NDC government. Talking about exchange rate, inflation, fuel price, free SHS, transport fares, and prices of goods and services. So I don't know why they think Ghanaians will choose them over a government that has brought happiness in their lives. So funny, NPP, never again. All right. This one over here from Teacher Kojo says 220 former MMDCs have endorsed Bawumia to become the NPP flag bearer for the 2028 election, and it's a good sign for the NPP. Everyone supports Bawumia. Humility and competence pay off. Their votes President Mahama received in 2024 were the same as the one received in 2020, just over 6 million. Therefore, Ghanaians didn't vote for him in greater numbers. So only those who voted for the NPP did not turn out to vote. If they change their minds and go to the polls in 2020, the NDC will lose. Greetings to Chairman Adomako Koka. Okay, so I'm thinking, what makes you think that those people who didn't go out to vote and what they're experiencing right now will not make a decision in 2028? You should also understand that it's not just NDC people that are talking about what we're enjoying right now in terms of some of the things that we've seen the government do. And so, yes, it may be a problem, but not really a problem like that. Dr. Bawumia possesses exceptional intelligence, extensive experience in Ghanaian politics, and a proven track record that surpasses other aspirants vying for the NPP flag bearer position, bypassing him in favor of the boss candidate who was consistently evaded ministerial responsibilities would be a significant misstep. And that's Osono Mill in Navrongo that sent in that many of your messages have come through. Let me take the thoughts of Honorable Timothy, and then I'll try and do a few before we wrap it all up.
You see, listening to all the candidates and the issues that have come up for discussion, sometimes Bawumia is his own enemy. Look, at one time, Bawumia called himself a brand new tier robber. Brand new tier robber. And then they should bring him because he's a brand new tier robber. And today he's talking about experience. We know that brand new things have never been used, so they cannot be experienced. Is that not it? He's not talking about experience and so on. So sometimes his own utterances is what is going to undo him. This was a man who was paraded and we're told that he's an economic whiz kid.
Is it not?
If he was, then how come that the economy ran aground and that we could not borrow $1 from our development partners and so on? How come that your city went to over 16, your fuel was over 20 per liter? How come the inflation went to 54%, unprecedented? We can go on and on. He ended about telling that he was a digital man and that he had nothing to do with the economy. And when people, journalists ask him that if he had done everything else today, what will he do tomorrow? And today he wants to tell us that he's the one who has got the experience and that they should put him there. I think that the people of Ghana know it's so fresh in our minds. It's so fresh that don't let us play to the gallery by thinking that bringing Bawumia on the MPP side, if they bring him, it's going to be a rosy campaign throughout. We'll regurgitate everything to them, and the people then know. I keep saying that, look, the young men today have access to IT, and because of their prowess in IT, within the press of a knob, you can easily know what is there, what has been done, and so on. So for me, these are the issues that the delegate should look at, and to see which candidate is much more marketable when they bring on board. We are not bothered. If you can combine all of them together, we know that we have a government to run, we have policies to churn out for the good of the people of this country, where our focus is going to be that. And when you go ahead and then you look at issues like, why is this DCs declaring? And now other DCs will come out and say, we are not part of it at all. The confusion at this incipient stage is so mind-boggling that you cannot even have a unified way of endorsing the same.
It makes it easier for the NDC to win.
Whether it makes it easier or not, we've come to a time that that issue is left to the electorate to determine. The letter will
determine. And you think that what they are seeing right now,
I think that what
it's a reason for them to vote for the NDC again?
It is not just that. We cannot be voted for based on confusion and
well, then it means that if the alternative is
we can only be voted for if the promises we gave it to the people of this country, we've implemented them to the benefit of every.
So it's not about the chaos in the alternative.
It is not about the chaos there. It's about economic policies. What did we say we would do? What are the chances of a young man who is not employed going to get employment and so on? What are the chances of the economic recovery translating into a better life for the Ghanaian and so on? These are the issues people are going to look at and vote for the next political party. A chance was given to them, they squandered it. Today, Kennedy Agyapong is also trying to run for the flag bearer just like he did on the other time. Yes, I don't have any problem with him. I was in parliament with him and so on and so forth. But you see, there's something that is very clear. And for me, I think it is going to affect him because of what what do you call it? The current situation where some people are declaring for him and declaring for Bawumia. There are two major running candidates as we talked this morning. Yeah. For Brian Achampon, I said this time and again that when Brian was at Izikwawu shouting that it was a platform for him to launch his campaign for the 2028 flag bearer. Why was he doing that? Why was he being looked at as a tough guy? Because the grassroots will always want a tough guy that will say, oh, when a bit magic pound, if you want that kind of thing. He's a strong guy.
Well, he said that he's not even here to test the waters.
Yes, whatever it is, that is his own problem. But I feel that, yes, he has a long way to go. Like his spokesperson said, he's also into the race, and we'll see what he brings on board. But for me, I wish them well, and I think that they should end up as a unified party. Yeah. They should not get out so decimated, so fractured to the extent that they cannot even fly. But the sciences are clear that they are going to come out much more disunited, looking at the fact that there's, even at this incipient stage of their primaries, they are beginning to see a lot of challenges and divisions among them. And for me, as an NDC fellow, we would want to concentrate on what the mandate the people have given. We're yet 6 months in power. A lot more that we have to roll out for the people to be the yardstick to retain us in future and so on. And I don't want to leave it to them because it is their cup of tea. We are only just bystanders and then watching to see how the game plays out. So I wish them well.
Okay. This one says, nurses are on strike. Doomsaw is everywhere. 14.75% electricity tariff increment, and now Doomsaw levy on our necks. President Mahama and his NDC will collapse this country. Their goodwill is getting over. Ghanaians will soon see their super incompetence. And it goes on and says that Dada Noah Kelantua D. Levy. Greetings to Aja Safia Mohammed, incoming MPP, National Women Organization. This one is coming from Master Planner Junior in Tampo. He sent in that one. I'm still going to be doing some of the messages that you've sent to us. Let me try and go through this one, which is coming from Sami Watchin. It says that, fellow Ghanaians, it is essential to remember the government promise of 24-hour economy to generate employment opportunities. However, their actions have been inconsistent with this promise, as evidenced by the termination of numerous appointment and the recent dismissal of 100 Bank of Ghana employees. This raises questions about the validity of their claims regarding the 24-hour economy and whether it is merely a ploy. Now, with regards to the upcoming MPP primaries in January, I do not think the ongoing declarations are a cause for concern, as they are a natural part of the process. Instead, focus should be on ensuring a clean and respectful campaign to regain power in 2028. My regards to Thomas Oyinababwache and the UK branch organizer hopeful. This one is coming from Sami Boache and Samankesi as well. Okay, so those are some of the messages. I'll try and see if I can do a few from Facebook. But coming from what are the last message that you would send out there in terms of this conversation? And maybe I'll take one from Honorable too as well.
Generally, or just
in general?
In general, I would want to go back to another quotation by Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He said, we cannot build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. There's a lot happening. We have to look at the end game in all this. All the political fever, the economic upheavals, even the security situation all over the world. We shouldn't lose track of whether we are giving the needed attention to our youth, the needed attention to our workers. We heard about the teachers who have not been paid for the past 10 months. Are we building patriotism in them? You cannot hear such a thing in any Western democracy. The teachers have not been paid for the past 10 months. I do not blame one party or the other, because 10 months was during the MPP era, 6 months NDC era. There could be all kinds of situations that may have caused it. But in all this favor and all this, let's not lose focus of our youth, our teachers, our nurses. Let's do all that we can in order to give them their due, to build their patriotism. Because letting them enjoy the fruits of their labor will determine what they sacrifice for the country, will determine the continuous building of this country. If we only think about those at the top, just the middle class and the politicians and all that, we will not get anywhere. So during this reset agenda, which I believe is going well, let us refocus whatever finances are available. Let's pay off these teachers and let's give more attention to the youth.
Okay. Let me go on Facebook. Some of the messages over there. This one is from Gariba Abdullah Konsi. It says, I think the NPP party is doing the right thing and ready to recapture power in 2028 by starting with the flag bearership contest first before other leadership contests within the party. Among all the leaders in Ghana, they should mention one leader who became the president in Ghana and has never received an open endorsement from his party members. Our open dishonesty in Ghana is our biggest problem, but the truth shall make Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia the next president of Ghana. And this one is from Teacher Kojoni. It says that 224 former MMDCs have endorsed Bawumia to become the NPP flag bearer for the 2028 election. And it's a good sign for the NPP. Everyone supports Bawumia. Humility and competence pay off. The votes President Mahama received in 2024 were the same as he received in 2020. Just over 6 million. Therefore, Ghanaians didn't vote for him in greater numbers, so only those who voted for the NPP did not turn out to vote. If they change their minds and go to the polls in 2028, the NDC will lose. Greetings to Chairman of Nongweku Apia, and that's from Teacher. Let me see if there's another one that I can just do it real quick. Okay, there are many of them. Sly Dumbai says the NPP is a nation-destroying party full of arrogant, dishonest, and violent personalities. And Renee says, good morning, host. Please, what is happening to the Paulugu Dam project investigations the president promised? And okay, those are some of the messages. Brookman Latif says that MPP has a straight record in Africa, not in West Africa only, the free SHS. And Daniel says Dr. Bawumia, the self-proclaimed economic whiz kid, has masterminded a catastrophic blunder leading to the loss of 2 billion cedis in the so-called gold for oil scam, destroyed the very foundations of the economy and rendered Ghanaians poor. Okay, those are it says. It goes on to say that. What economic genius looks like, then Ghana is better off without it. His textbook economics has turned into a real-life disaster. Instead of being investigated, prosecuted, and permanently disqualified from mismanaging our future, he's presenting himself for another election. Ghana is not a playground for failed experiments and empty slogans. Greetings to my godfather and astute politician, Honorable Timothy Awon Tirim Atap-Wade. All right, some of the messages. Mensa Majid says, good morning, KMJ. Let nobody convince you that the current MPP can never unite. The top-bottom approach has shown the NPP leaders are confused. The party is gradually breaking down and nothing can save them. NPP will remain in opposition for more than 30 years. My regards to Honorable Ishak Dauda, MD for Christian Minds. All right, so that's the the messages you've sent to us on Facebook, because some of them we're grateful that you were able to send us all your messages on Facebook. And let me say a very good morning to Honorable Catherine Afeku, and she's coming in as the women's organizer, the national women's organizer for the NPP come in the upcoming elections. And believe me, I've been with this woman. I've seen what she's able to do, the energy, the resilience, and everything that has to do with a woman power. She's got it, and if you put her in that position, I'm sure she's going to do good work. And greetings to you, Honorable Catherine Atheku, and I want to believe you this morning. All right, folks. Do you play any, or do you love any other sports apart from football? Maybe hockey, tennis, or?
Well, I do play table tennis.
Table tennis, right? Very good.
Well, maybe 60%.
But 60 is the lot.
Yeah, 6%.
Okay, then I'll organize a match between you and I.
That would be great.
That would be good. I don't know, you play any of them apart from football?
No. I just do my own things. But there's this good news too. 1 billion to retool security agencies. President announces, talking about John Dramani Mahama announcing that 1 billion Ghana City to retool the security is very, very important. And I also saw a story about Goyle PLC post 84.7 billion. And I think it's good if state enterprises begin to post such profits after so much damage has been done to most of the state institutions. We have a way to go, and we should applaud them for
the government for that. All right, great stuff. That's our conversation. But this morning, I would also want to say a special greetings going out to the Honorable Kofi Adams, the Minister for Sports and Recreation, for all the great things that he's doing in the sports sector. Now, there's something that is coming up, which is called the Stars for Lesser Known Sports. And it's the Honorable Sports Minister and the ministry that is putting this together. And I think that is a good way for us to go, because it's always about football. So for him to actually now turn the attention to lesser known sports, I think that's really a good one. And brother, congratulations to you and the entire team. And so if you are a celebrity, if you're a sports person, or even not even a sports person, and you believe in any lesser sports out there, please let's encourage ourselves to be able to push them into the limelight, so it doesn't become only for. There's judo, there's table tennis, there's hockey, I play lawn tennis, and all that. So let's all do our best to push the lesser known sports out there as well. And I'm grateful. I'm really, really excited about this initiative that the Ministry of Sports and Recreation is bringing. And I'm trying to speak to the minister, and then we'll have that tournament live on TV. Myself and
that'll be wonderful.
I'll beat you back. Anyway, that's our conversation.